Kamala Harris doing a gaggle today, not a full-blown press conference, but a gaggle with her press corps.
So, yeah, she's coming out with all these new policies and all these new ways of attacking the election. It's surprising the number of messages that the Kamala Harris campaign is putting out. It's surprising, except when you realize that they are losing, and so they're just throwing stuff against the wall to see if it might help them pull this thing out. So, Patrick Healy, all right, homosexual, left-winger, longtime New York Times writer. This has been on my mind lately because Kamala Harris and Trump have drawn about as sharp a contrast as I've seen in the 5 presidential races I've covered. I mean, who could be undecided between these two? Harris is campaigning with gusto. Her message has been consistent since the summer. This is not a complicated choice. I suspect that Harris has won over most of the undecided and swing voters that she is going to get. And remember, Mark Halperin was banging on this drum 6 weeks ago. Right, Trump is in better shape in the battleground states than the polls suggest. Right, private polls show Trump in a better position by 1 to 3 percentage points per state. Trump is better positioned to attract late deciding voters who are often driven by feelings, which I think this year will be about 2 things: the economy and fear. Fear about crime, fear about illegal immigration, fear about World War III and turmoil in the world. Why aren't more undecided say they will vote for Trump? Well, the guy makes it awfully hard for many Nikki Haley Republicans, moderates, independents, and others outside his MAGA base to get on the bandwagon with his election-denying insurrectionist defending us versus them bombast. Many people who will vote for Donald Trump are embarrassed by Donald Trump. His conduct on January 6, 2021 disgusts many of them, disgusts me. Some are genuinely uncomfortable saying they will vote for him after what he did that day. At the same time, many moderate, independent, swing, and undecided voters list the economy as their top issue. And many of them still praise Trump on economic issues. Americans hate inflation. Many of them fault the Biden administration. I can't believe undecided voters who care most about the economy and are pinched by inflation are going to embrace Harris. I see no clear sign in the battleground states that her economic message is convincing large numbers of undecided and swing voters that she'll be better on the economy than Trump. Many voters are not looking for a more of the same president. I think a single biggest problem is separating herself from Biden. She hasn't done it. Harris's political strategy this week is a signal that her team suspects all of this too, right? If they knew they had a winning economic message, they wouldn't be trotting out all these new messages, and they wouldn't be concentrating on Donald Trump is a fascist, Donald Trump is unstable. So Kamala Harris is campaigning with Liz Cheney in swing states and talking about January 6th. Right? January 6th is not in the top 5 of issues for most American voters. Maybe Harris and Cheney can turn some of these voters away from Trump and capitalize on his enemy within language. Harris is closing out the race with the right issues, the economy, abortion rights, security, January 6th, that resonate with some voters, including suburban women who are crucial to her chances. Trump's closing strategy is to make people afraid of a Harris presidency by maligning her personally or portraying the country as near collapse. He and his allies are bent on making Harris unacceptable to voters. If he wins, it may well be the undertold story of this campaign, how effective his camp's ads on transgender girls and trans rights have been in making Kamala Harris look extreme and unacceptable. So this week, Trump is campaigning in North Carolina, Georgia, and Nevada. He might even go to Albuquerque, and it's hard to imagine that New Mexico is within reach for Donald Trump. So expect the fear-mongering to reach a fever pitch with social conservatives, religious voters, and some of the Black and Latino men he's trying to win over. There's nothing wrong with mongering fear when fear is the appropriate response to a situation. Donald Trump knows what he's doing by sowing anxiety. Harris cannot afford this to be a fear versus more of the same election.